Hello and welcome. YouTube has always held a soft spot for horror games. As it turns out, people like watching other people being scared. Though it's still a thing today, back in the early 2010s it was at its peak. Some of the biggest pillars of content creation started there, and the game that sat at the start of this was a little indie title called Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Released by Frictional Games for PC in 2010, it was the little game that could, starting with a humble success that eventually grew into very big numbers. Amnesia is a big name in the gaming world, and each preceding sequel gets a large amount of attention. The original itself has acquired a large amount of praise from critics. Personally, I'd never tried the game until roughly 10 years after release, and I'll be honest, I wasn't impressed. For a while, I didn't think particularly high of the game. I didn't bother going back until I heard praise from other content creators. So, I decided to give Amnesia a second look. Amnesia takes place in 1839. The location is Brennenburg Castle, found in Prussia. Our protagonist is Daniel. As you can guess from the title, Dan here has a case of amnesia. While exploring the castle, we read pages written by himself and others explaining the situation. He is on mission to kill a man named Alexander. The only catch is a shadow is chasing Daniel. If it catches him, he's dead. The gameplay consists of a few unique mechanics. Movement consists of walking, running, crouching, and leaning. Those are pretty standard, but the rest is where it's interesting. Using the mouse, you can move objects in the environment. This allows you to pick up and throw small objects, drag and push large objects, and manually turn cranks or open doors. It feels like a Wii game in spirit. While exploring the castle, we have to manage both Daniel's health and sanity. Health is pretty self-explanatory. You get hurt, you lose some. Sanity, on the other hand, is affected by what you see. Sitting in the dark, witnessing the paranormal, and looking at monsters will drain your sanity. This makes tasks like hiding from monsters a lot more stressful. The supplies you are given are very limited. Besides quest important items, you receive a lantern which runs on oil. The fuel runs out very fast, so using it constantly is a bad idea. The most common items are tinder boxes. These allow you to light objects in the environment such as candles or lamps. The last thing is healing items, which are by far the most rare, though unfortunately they don't raise your sanity. That is done by making progress or solving puzzles. With all that out of the way, here's what my playthrough was like. Unlike last time, this game is not nearly fast-paced enough for basic gameplay and commentary. So starting off, we learn that we are indeed Daniel. We are given a simple task: follow the liquid trail. Doing so, we happen upon a letter from Daniel. From there, we explore the castle in an attempt to descend deeper. This first hour of gameplay is nothing exciting. Other than a few spooky glimpses, you're just wandering around the castle looking for chemicals. As far as I can tell, the monsters can't actually find you and immediately despawn the moment they round a corner. Once done mixing the chemicals, you melt an organic barrier and descend deeper into the castle. Now underground, we encounter another glimpse of terror. It was here I first experienced low sanity, which causes the screen to become borderline incomprehensible. There's this blur effect and everything starts warping. Beyond this point, we encounter our first deadly monster. Ugh. Ain't there a sucker? Cringe loser. I just got finished doing the Mirror's Edge, so this should be easy. I immediately failed. Let me on a box! Ooh. Oh no. Oh no, get on the crane. That was so slow. Alright. Alright. Ah! I think it might be smarter to go around the other way. Oh, no! Get on a fucking box, Daniel! Oh. This part was genuinely exciting and fun. Something about the floor is lava that just hits right. Though the chase part was a little strange. Every time I hopped on a box to take a break, I didn't see anything. Outside of the flooded parts, we have another puzzle. Daniel must fix an elevator. The process itself isn't all too complicated as long as you actually read the pages. Something I may or may not have a problem with. Anyway, after messing with a few doohickeys, I find myself in need of a few rods. One of which was found pretty easily. The others, not so much. For once, gatherers are now a problem. What's more, there's a cave-in blocking our progress. How does one get by? Well, the best Daniel could come up with was a bomb. This was also the point when I experienced my first death. Oh boy. Oh no. I have a feeling it might catch up. Oh, okay. Oh no. No. See you later, loser. Jesus. I wasn't ready for the music to follow me. Oh, I can see your heart pounding. Ow! Down we go. Apparently Brennenburg has a prison. Also, gatherers are a common sight down there. In order to progress, you need to chisel into a tunnel made by a couple prisoners. On the second level of the prison, there is a barrel of acid. Using this, you corrode a lock, break it, and flee into the cistern. This went. Aw, you son of a bitch, of course it happened. Another place high in case a gather spots me. I panicked so hard. Oh no! Oh. Open the damn door! Oh, I didn't stand a chance to take me. That's a unique checkpoint. Inside the cistern, we have a new goal. Make an antidote for a poisonous fungus. This means more of the usual. Drain the water so that you can use the passage. Solve a puzzle to fix the drawbridge and drill into a dead guy's head for the antidote. Since we're now immune to the fungus, Daniel passes into the sewer where we solve a very easy puzzle and flee from the new gatherer. Oh god. Which way do these f***ing doors open? I'm so nervous. Now on the part just before the inner sanctum, we have a lot to do. We meet with a man named Agrippa, who explains to us how to enter the sanctum. We need to collect the 6 pieces of Agrippa's orb to get past the weird energy field. Along the way, we also have the option of making a tonic to free Agrippa from his predicament. All we need to do is fix the doors. You do this in the attic next to Agrippa. This may or may not have taken me over 30 minutes to find.
Oh no.
I can't even tell if I'm in darkness half the... Just before we can get to the energy field, Daniel is accosted by a large group of gatherers. Now in prison, we have to break out. This is where every flaw with Amnesia reared its head. Turns out, on normal, the intended difficulty, you cannot die from environmental damage or lack of sanity. This means I spent roughly 15 minutes desperately trying to die. Instead, I accidentally escaped the cell. I think you're supposed to use the bucket to help climb out, but I threw that out of the prison cell. And since I couldn't die, I just had to get lucky with the jump. Moving on, we clamber back and complete Agrippa's tonic. Sawing off his head at his request, we continue into the inner sanctum. Once inside, we complete some rituals and face off with the man himself, Alexander. It is here you have three options. Let Alexander take the portal, prevent the portal from opening, or throw in Agrippa's severed head. Amnesia: The Dark Descent leaves me with some mixed feelings. The atmosphere of this game is immaculate. The gothic architecture of the castle drenched in darkness. The grimy underbelly illuminated by torches that barely beat away the sheer blackness of the dark. The hauntingly beautiful music in dissonance with horrific sounds echoing around you. The deformed monsters that chase you, the never-ending pages of lore. Regardless of the actual gameplay, the aesthetic is well crafted. The puzzles are very solid. While some of the solutions aren't particularly intuitive or easy to find, none of it feels obtuse or poorly done. It offers a good change of pace from the monster encounters. These breaths of air almost feel criminal when you have to move on to far scarier prospects. The story is very fascinating. All the voice-acted diaries were very engaging and played out like proper Lovecraft stories, minus the pretentious wording and racism. The way it's told works quite well. Daniel has no memory and is rediscovering his past, for better and mostly worse. The flashbacks are also pretty neat, but they do have a habit of showing up at very inconvenient times. I liked the story so much I don't want to spoil it. I strongly suggest you save your first experience for yourself. Now, the sore points come from the actual gameplay. This is what initially turned me off from Amnesia and still feels flawed. Gatherer encounters are too scripted. When a gatherer shows up, it's almost never a constant threat. After hiding and re-emerging, they just disappear. Gone without a trace. This makes encounters with them feel underwhelming. It really kills any tension beyond a quick scare when they appear. For a stealth game, Amnesia doesn't have very good level design. Most of it doesn't feel like it's designed for stealth. Everything is linear and options are either too obvious or non-existent. There are some exceptions, but nothing stacks up to other better horror games. Another issue. Sanity has little agency. Other than causing a lot of visual impairment, it isn't really too much of a problem. Even when sneaking around enemies with low sanity, I didn't really struggle. This takes an interesting mechanic and weakens it considerably. In terms of how scary Amnesia is, I think it has its moments. The water monster segment with the crank was genuinely intense. Having to willingly sit in danger's way for an extensive amount of time is frightening. Or having to open doors manually during a chase. My heart genuinely sank when I guessed the wrong direction. Though honestly, once I realized that gatherers despawn, a lot of the tension left. For me, a horror game is scary when it makes you feel helpless. This usually means the more odds are stacked against you, the more frightening it becomes. Whether it be lack of resources or plain challenge, that's what makes a game feel scary. The aesthetic is important, but it's only a small part of what makes a game actually scary. Back to Amnesia, this philosophy can be found. However, it just doesn't feel like it fully commits to it. I like the whiffs of hopelessness it brought, but it did leave me wanting more. Now, I should mention something I've been leaving out. Amnesia has two difficulties. The one I chose is normal, the other is hard. This difficulty removes autosaves, manual saving costs 4 tinderboxes, monsters notice you easier, and sanity can actually kill you. These could remedy my complaints, though the experience could border on rage-inducing. In the future, I might give this a chance and my opinions might change. For now though, Amnesia: The Dark Descent was a haunting experience that held strong in aesthetic. I did enjoy my time with it and have formed a more positive outlook towards it. It does have some pretty major flaws, but there's a chance they could be gone on replay. At the moment, I'm feeling a 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching and goodbye.